if we talk about the calculation process, trying to evaluate how much things are going to cost you in LimaCharlie, the first stop should be the pricing page. So if you go limacharlie.io into pricing, all of our pricing is all there, right? So we don't hide any of that stuff. So you know exactly the pricing that's there. That will give you an idea of what direction you want to go when evaluating pricing. You're probably not going to use all of these things. If I go, top to bottom, the ones that you probably want to focus on really a lot is assuming you're using the EDR. So obviously, the EDR portion of this is going to be relevant. So that's $2 per endpoint per month. The telemetry storage insight, which is enabled by default, and the vast majority of users use it. So often you'll see us refer to $250 per endpoint per month, just as a streamline. The artifact ingestion, replay, Zeek, external output, all of these things are more optional. So if you're focused around the EDR, which most people still on LimaCharlie are, those two costs are really the big ones. Artifact ingestion, replay, Zeek, external output, so everything except net and comms are going to be usage-based. So even when we're talking about the subscription, some things we just can't include, in the all-you-can-eat because there's just so much variation, right? I'll give you an example. The artifact ingestion, some people, collect nothing at all, ever. Some people run full memory dumps of every box on their network every day, right? So that's like terabytes every day. So that means that we will bill per usage for those. So let's start with the simple part, and we'll get into that usage. So what I'll do is I'll flip to an example organization. So I'll go into the demo org, and we'll go to the billing section. So the billing section is going to be really, really useful, whether you're looking at subscription or usage-based, to evaluate your costs. If you're doing the subscription, it's going to be a lot easier, because that's the good news, right? And honestly, even without looking at the pricing page, you can get a lot of basic information kind of automatically done through this section if you use it as a calculator. What I recommend for you is to make use of the free tier in LimaCharlie. So you probably know we have a free tier, so every user can have 2 organizations in the free tier with two sensors concurrently connected. So a quota of 2. All the features are enabled for that. So you can start using all of the things other than net, which for abuse protection reasons, you have to go to a quota of 3, which means you have to put in your credit card to be able to activate it. So the advantage of using a free tier organization is that it will allow you to kind of, without impact to your actual bill, start staging, the use that you want to make out of LimaCharlie and see what the impact on billing is. So really the thing you want to look at first is the active subscriptions. So those will, the ones that will show up here are like in the add-on section, except we only show you the ones that are billed in one way or another. So it gives you kind of a quick view where you can say, okay, what are the things that will impact my billing? And which ones of those do I want, right? So API Insight, that's the retention I mentioned. It's enabled by default. So that's probably good. You can, enable comms. You might enable the cutting edge, which is a 30 cent per endpoint per month. So all of those have kind of different patterns. So you can enable the ones that you want. And then you can just come here at the request quota section and say, okay, I believe that my tenant is going to have 100 endpoints. So if I set my quota to 100, in this case, $380 per month is going to be kind of the recurring subscription cost. If you added the $2 times 100 and like all of the optional things that we have here, this is the number that you get to. So usually, in most cases, that's really by far the biggest, in terms of proportion number for what will be billed for you. The only things that remain that are not part of that number are the bits that are labeled based on usage. In the based on usage sections, it's the ones that I mentioned where we really can't estimate what an average user, because there's so much variation. So for those, you will want to actually sit down and do you a bit of your own estimation. I'll step through that.